Hello, hello, hello. Holy shit, guys, I'm doing it. I've been talking about this for so long and I've dragged my feet, but here the freak I am. My name is Tamara and I am the host of this podcast. Honestly, y'all, I was having major imposter syndrome while trying to get this and a YouTube started. So let me just chat with y'all about what's been going on. Over the last couple of months, I took basically a social media hiatus. I was finding that I was feeling internally that I was failing clients, I was failing as a mom, I was failing as a wife, and I was failing myself as a business owner. And I was super stressed out. But the thing that I think really did me in was the feeling as though I was failing clients. I found that clients weren't breaking patterns, and I wanted to dig deep, basically, dig deep within to see, where I wasn't showing up. And that turned into a 4-week social media hiatus with a little pop on, and then another 2 weeks completely off with another, and now, popping back in here and there. But kind of just doing my own thing, finding myself and finding peace. And let me tell you, the level of peace that I have found in the last 6 weeks is crazy, okay? I didn't even know there was more peace, and I'm just continuing to find it. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I started as a personal trainer and fitness coach. I've been doing that for 9 years now at this point. 3 years ago, I went through the largest transformation slash period of growth, I guess, in my life. I had my son Ray. So, if those of you who do know me, you know my Ray. And after having him, felt like I hit rock bottom. It was like nothing I had ever experienced before. At the height of postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and actually postpartum rage, I literally decided something's got to give, something's got to change. I wasn't feeling fulfilled in multiple different areas of life. And so I started my mental health and my personal journey. This is really where my spiritual journey, which started off as a slow roll, I guess, for the first year and a half. And boy, has it picked up in the last 2 years, let me tell you. It was just all it needed was to come over the top of the hill, when you're going up the click, 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 up the roller coaster. And as soon as you hit that spot right before you go downhill, that is what happened. And things have escalated so quickly. It's like that. I think that one of those reel sounds right now that went viral, boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, it really did. That's how I feel about my spiritual journey. After I realized that I needed to make a change, I started doing small things creating a schedule, setting up standards for myself, getting really routine with a 1-year-old that still wasn't sleeping through the night. I started doing meditation, and I started looking into breathwork, and I started getting certified in these areas as well so that I could use myself as a test subject or my first client. I also started hiring coaches for me personally to help me get on my shit, especially with the business aspect, because I felt at that time okay, this is a transitionary period for me because my business is no longer fulfilling to me. I realized that I cared so much about the physical, just because to be the best version of yourself, mind, body, spirit, you have to take care of your body, which is nourishment and movement. We are humans, we're meant to move, and it's so important how you nourish your body. But I also realized that there was a lot missing or lacking in that field with the mental health aspect and the spiritual aspect. And you can look bomb as fuck. You could look so good and still be fucking miserable. And I am literally a prime example of that. When I had abs and my little booty was on plump plump, thought I was happy on the outside, but looking back, I still had crazy body dysmorphia. I had a super unhealthy relationship with food and exercise, to be quite honest with you. And I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with anything I had going on internally, at least not in a constructive way. So I started my first certification as a transformational life coach, specializing in childhood trauma healing. A major goal of mine, and was and still is working through childhood trauma and breaking generational chains. It wasn't just for me, it was for me for my piece, but also to change the trajectory of my children's lives by literally breaking the chains or being the one to break the chains that they don't need to live. Like this generational trauma and this emotion and hurt and pain that has been passed down for generations does not and did not need to be passed down to my children. I then also at the same time took a cognitive behavioral therapist, CBT, which is super important. And I actually like to utilize a lot of that coaching in the program with my clients. Followed by that, I got a facilitator of breathwork and deep healing meditation. Now, the facilitator of breathwork is a more generalized, just facilitator of breathwork, but the deep healing meditation was specifically for eating disorders, self-love, confidence, and anything that falls under those categories. I did this more for myself because I wanted to create a healthy relationship with food and wanted to make a comeback from the eating disorder that I was dealing with. There's so many people that have some semblance or some type of eating disorder, and it goes unrecognized and undiagnosed a lot of the time, and it's really dangerous. It's very, very common in women. Then I went on, so this is going to be over the last 3 years, basically. Then I went on to become a master hypnotherapist, and I got a diploma in professional body therapy counseling. Now, the reason I did this was to really target the body dysmorphia and the beliefs behind body dysmorphia. And let me tell you, hypnotherapy is that shit, okay? I'm going to do a whole podcast episode on hypnotherapy, what it is, what it isn't, common misconceptions, and why I believe so freaking strongly in it. But just know right now, I'm going to tell you, it's that shit, okay? It works, and that's my jam. I also utilize all of these things. They're all part of my toolkit, and they're things that I utilize on, if not a daily, a weekly, or monthly basis, pretty much a daily or weekly basis. And then finally, right now, I am doing EFT and TFT master practitioner, mental health practitioner, and a specific neuro-linguistic programming, which I've already done NLP, but the one that I'm doing right now is more specifically to body confidence, help with body confidence. And it's just basically how you speak. And I can get more into that in another episode as well, but it's basically how you speak. And the whole point of this is to reprogram how we speak to ourselves. It is so freaking important because the way that you speak, you might say, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Like, I'm XYZ. Oh, it's just a joke. Yeah, but your subconscious doesn't know the difference. So if you say that you're broke, your subconscious is going to be like, oh shit, we're broke. And that is now part of your beliefs. Whether you think it's funny and a joke or not, from a conscious level, your subconscious does not think this shit is a game. So it's super, super important and something I plan on heavily introducing into my program once I'm fully certified in that area as well. Now, hearing that list, you might be like, holy shit, girl, like that's a lot. And honestly, it kind of is. But they are things that I've used in different times, different areas, more, sometimes I'll use one thing more heavily than another, but they're things that are consistently in my toolkit in my journey as well. And they're, you have to think I've been using these for over the last oh my goodness, actually 3.5 years now. Yeah, 3.5 years. Holy crap, time flies. So I've been using these for 3.5 years for myself. I've utilized them in with clients, and I don't believe in like a one size fits all approach when it comes to my clients. And I'm not going to say, hey, like you're going to meditate and it's going to work, because meditation might be great for one person and then might not be another person's jam, and breathwork might be their jam. I personally love myself a good breathwork session. Now, I meditate every day because I do that for the stillness. Being someone who's very high energy and always on the go, I use it for stillness and to create awareness and be in the present moment. But breath work, when it comes to healing and, digging deep and figuring out exactly what's going on and uncovering maybe those things that I'm not seeing, breath work is my shit. So it just really depends on what works for you and what doesn't. And I like to have all of these tools in my tool belt for my journey, as well as, helping and teaching to my clients at the same time. So, yeah, my main focus with this podcast is to basically chat with y'all about my experience through my massive spiritual awakening, especially for those of you who feel alone. I think one of the most common things that I hear from clients is that they feel so alone, and they're part of a community and they love the community, and when they're immersed in the community they feel like they are so supported, but when it comes to their day in day out, their everyday life, they feel as though they either lose a lot of people, or a lot of people just don't understand what they're going through. And I can attest to this. Sometimes the people that you're surrounded by just don't freaking get what you're going through, and they might never. And in the beginning, it can be such an isolating experience. So I'm here to let you know that you are not alone. And this is the whole point of this podcast, is to create a community where people feel super freaking supported in their spiritual journey, or in just their personal development, self-help, self-love, self-confidence journey. Like, you are supported. I also am going to be utilizing this podcast to teach you guys some of the most important tools to have on your journey to create your best freaking life. Like, you need to have a toolkit. That's what it is. Every self-help book, everything you read, everything you see on the internet, these are just tools, but they're so important because you want to be able to kind of rummage through your fanny pack. Did I just date myself? Rummage through your fanny pack and choose what tool is the best tool for you at any given moment. So you can literally create your life. Like, you can create the life that you want no matter what. Everything that you are currently living, you have created based upon what your beliefs are, the ones that are stored in your subconscious. So if you're like me, and not at this moment, but some point in it, maybe not right now, but at some point in your life, you've thought, oh my gosh, there has to be more. Like, this can't be it. There's got to be so much more to life. There's got to be. I deserve more, don't I? How the fuck do I achieve all the things I've always dreamed of? Will they always be dreams? Or can I have them? Like, how do I make it reality? Right? So, like, I've been there, and if you're still listening, you've probably been there too. So you're in the right place. Welcome to the Envisage Growth Podcast. There is so much more. You are so deserving. You're deserving of so much more. It is quite literally your birthright to live a dream life, or live the life of your dreams. 50% of the beliefs that you're walking around with are not your beliefs to begin with. They're taught to you. They've been picked up and you've learned them from somebody else. The other 50% have been ingrained to keep you safe. They have been a built-in response, normally a trauma response, to an event in your childhood, your young adulthood, that has now become your truth. I'm here to tell you that we can reprogram those beliefs, and we can create a life that you love to live. So I'm so happy to have you here. I can't wait to start recording these more often, like woo woo, and I hope that you guys stick around. Share this with a bunch of people, and I am just ready to make a massive fucking dent in the world. And welcome to the Envisage Growth Podcast. I finally fucking did it. Let's go.